Welcome back to the Dummy-Kruger channel, everyone. Today's video, we will once again be taking a look at the world's greatest paralegal, Wolverine Transparency. Over the past few months, Wolvie here has been going around police stations, city hall buildings, and other government buildings accusing public officials of breaking the law. Specifically, he's been citing a law created in 1931 that prohibits the desecration of the U.S. flag. Given the fact that Wolverine likes to portray himself as a protector of all of our First Amendment rights, I felt it necessary to... You know what? I've forced myself into watching hours of Wolverine's content and could really use a break. Here, let me try this.
Oh, this is not the right. I'm so sorry. No, it's this way. Turns out I'm stuck here, but that's a good thing because I got stuff to talk about involving Wolverine Transparency. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, check this out.
The blue line is a crime. They don't think that 750.245, 750.245 that says that you are not allowed to deface our flag in any way.
No, you silly Billy. The thin blue line isn't desecration, and I'll tell you why. Actually, no. I will let a lawyer tell you why, because hey, if Wolverine can cite a website in which law enforcement is asked about illegal parking...
This is articulated by a Michigan State trooper named Keith. And when you can never park your left wheel to right curb,
then surely I can cite a website in which an attorney discusses whether or not that exact flag statute can be enforced, right?
Did you know that there are 2 statutes on the books that criminalize disfiguring or mutilating the American flag in Michigan? Did you know that the statutes were held unconstitutional according to the United States Supreme Court? All of those statutes were invalidated when the United States Supreme Court issued its decision in Texas versus Johnson.
But wait a second. He acknowledges that ruling, but states it doesn't apply to government officials?
Not
It's
for...
similar. There's been many rulings, and you can.
No. That's free speech
I
for
gotta go and
us.
handle this.
That's free speech for us, not for you and duty bound.
To which I argue, why? Where? How? Point to the part of that case. Do you really think the Constitution stops protecting American citizens when they start working for the government? Really? Well, actually, there is a tiny bit of truth to that. I have to emphasize that it isn't entirely true, though, because the last time I agreed with the statement Wolverine made, he decided to pretend I was confirming something entirely different to be true.
Wolverine show a press badge here, and if he's only recording in public, a press badge actually isn't required. However, it isn't necessarily a bad idea. When I was covering...
so he basically is telling you guys that you guys are okay to record in public. He just admitted it.
No. Saying you don't need a press badge in a traditional public forum isn't the same as saying you can film anything you want from public. If you want to keep putting things into my mouth, I'm going to have to start charging you. Returning to the main topic, a government employee can be subjected to restrictions on their freedom of expression while on the clock. You wouldn't want a uniformed government official to be expressing themselves in a way that is harmful to the government, right? But if they do, that's generally just going to result in termination of employment, not a misdemeanor. In fact, this is true for many employers, not just government ones. If you conduct yourself in a manner that is harmful to your employer while representing your place of employment, you can lose your job. But if the department has already approved that flag to be a decal on vehicles or a patch on uniforms, then surely the employer has already determined that it's not harmful, right? This isn't looking good for you, Wolverine, I tell you. Where am I going? There's a wall there. I'm not from here. I don't know where I am. You're going to have to let me out eventually, Dummy-Kruger. Oh, an escalator. Escalator broke. All right, that's enough of that nonsense. Police officers can be criminally charged if their expression violates someone else's rights. And what code is that?
Deprivation of rights under the color of law, 241, 242.
Yay, you did it. So the question we ask now is, how would desecrating a flag violate your rights? Well, it wouldn't, would it? Especially since this isn't even the American flag. And this is coming from an American soldier. The flag code defines the American flag as red, white, and blue. This is not red, white, and blue. What color is it? That's right, it's black, white, and blue, and is therefore not the American flag. If you took an existing American flag, bleached it, and then just did some police brutality on it, just punched it and got that black and blue in there, then sure, that would be desecration of an American flag. But this isn't that. Don't think I'm defending this thing because I like it. I really kind of don't. But my opinions, and your opinions, and Wolverine's opinions don't change the fact that desecration laws don't apply to this, and even if they did, would not be enforceable because of a thing called the Supreme Court. Well, I hope that clears things up. Folks, I hope you have a good whatever the rest of the day is, and I'm going to try to get out of here. Oh, the escalator's working again. Excuse me.
Piggybacking where Blue Bacon left off, there have been multiple occasions where the blue line flag was removed off of government property or social media pages. One such instance occurred in 2021 when this photo appeared on an Air Force unit's Facebook page. From taskandpurpose.com, an Air Force unit in Germany has deleted images from its Facebook page showing security forces airmen carrying the thin blue line flag in solidarity with law enforcement after determining the flag had not been approved by the Defense Department to be flown at military installations. Continuing, the wing's leaders later realized that it had run afoul of Defense Department policy. For something a little more recent, in January of this year, the LAPD police chief ordered the removal of the thin blue line flag at public events and police stations. He's quoted as saying, "While I do not personally view the thin blue line flag in the same manner as the community member and others, its display in our public lobbies can be divisive." So why am I pointing this out? Because the military members or the LAPD officers that chose to display this flag on government property weren't breaking the law. They were removed based on new policies enacted by the police chief and then Secretary of Defense Mark Esper. And what is one of the go-to lines regurgitated over and over and over again by First Amendment auditors?
That sign don't mean shit to me though. That sign don't mean shit. That's not policy. That's policy. That's not law.
Currently, over 40 states have similar desecration laws on the books that have been deemed unconstitutional, yet they remain. And what's even more disheartening, people are still getting arrested because these laws remain on the books. In 2016, NPR wrote a piece on one such occurrence. One day after Bright Malot's photo of himself burning an American flag led to his arrest in Urbana, Illinois, the local prosecutor says no charges will be filed against Malot. The 22-year-old was released Monday after questions arose over Illinois' flag desecration law. And that's not a one-off. It's happened on many occasions. From the New York Times, after Cleveland police officers arrested Gregory L. Johnson in 2016 as he burned an American flag outside the Republican National Convention, Mr. Johnson sued the city, saying the officers had violated his First Amendment rights. This week, 3 decades after the court invalidated prohibitions on flag desecration in 48 states, the city of Cleveland agreed to pay Mr. Johnson $225,000 to settle his claim that officers had retaliated against him for an exercise of free expression. This is the same Gregory Johnson in the Supreme Court case Texas versus Johnson that Blue was referring to that invalidated all state desecration flag laws. Saying all of this, I have a challenge for Wolverine transparency. Instead of using an outdated, unconstitutional law to berate and accuse police officers of breaking the law like this,
You guys are in color of law, and I will prosecute you. I will have you guys thrown in jail. Every time I see you put that blue line on or you back up the blue line, I will stop you. There is an MCL 272.245 that says you can't.
and this.
And he has a blue line sticker on that patrol car that's not regulation. They're committing CIs and misdemeanors.
And let's not forget about this time.
That's like that blue line flag. That's against the law. It says so in 770.245. In Michigan Penal Code, it's an MCL, for crying out loud. You can't have that on our government cars. Those people that have the American flag on it, God bless them. But anybody that has that blue line flag on there, they are in color of law. And soon, I'm suing. I'm going to go ahead and sue. I'm taking them to the Sixth Circuit myself, and I'm going to win. I know I am.
Okay, Wolverine, here's my challenge. What if you use that passion to actually fight for the First Amendment? How about contacting your state legislators and inquiring with them why this is still written as law? My guess is most legislators see this as a losing issue that will most likely upset some of their constituents, so they just ignore it knowing the Supreme Court has made its ruling. But that hasn't stopped people from getting arrested for an actual First Amendment protected activity. Wolverine, if you decide to work on getting this unconstitutional law off the books in your state of Michigan, you will have my 100% support in this endeavor. Alright guys, I think that's where we'll wrap it up. I really do want to thank Blue Bacon for the assist today, as it was much needed. I haven't heard from him in a couple of days, so I'm hoping he was able to get out of that bunker, as the available oxygen has to be really limited down there. To see similar content in the future, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting below. Please also head to my friend Blue Bacon's channel and do the same. This is Dummy Kruger, and I'll see you guys on the next one.